All right, all right. Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone doing this evening? We've got Tactical Rabbit in the house. We've got Pistol Pete so far. I'm sure others will be jumping in soon. Hopefully. I don't know if seems like the Wednesday chat's kind of been. I don't know if we're losing people because of. I guess Lucas started from T-Rex Arms started doing his chat on Wednesdays at 7. I don't know if that's where everybody's running over there or not. But anyway, how's everyone doing this evening? We will, if y'all have questions, definitely bring it up. And yeah, the rabbits, my dog, or our small dog, the rabbits have been coming into our yard and digging the holes and breeding, the wild rabbits, not kept rabbits, not caged rabbits. They've been digging holes in the yard and having their babies. And then when the babies pop out of the hole, or if my wife's dog finds the hole, she's trying to chase them, and she's already, unfortunately, gotten a couple of them. Brought one into the house, freaked my wife out. So yeah, we've got rabbit population issues in my area, and little dogs. She's trying to get after them. So that fox and that cat probably are looking for some dinner. Hello, totally awesome. How are you? Brian DeShane is in the house. Tristan Milris is in the house. Need to talk to healthcare person. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. The VA. Yeah. Hello, Clyde Cumberland. How are you doing? But yeah, I'm actually in Louisiana. I am about 30 miles outside of New Orleans. So that's where I am tonight. I was in Baton Rouge, drove down to see some customers here. So I'm about 30 miles outside of New Orleans. Been busy traveling around and seeing people, of course, rain off and on. You're down here near the coast, so that's going to happen. Hello, Rich B. How are you? Norwood is in the house. What's the carry this week? Glock 19X. So that's what's going on. That is it. Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, we were going to try to do the same thing, Brian. And yeah, the dog got them and they were squealing and it was a mess. Hello, Lynn Holt. How are you, sir? Chris from the 740 is in the house. How are y'all? And also, if you see content creators such as Chris from the 740 so far and anybody else that jumped in that has channels, please go over and subscribe to them. Chris has a good channel. He's always doing some stuff. I'm going to be catching up this weekend. I have got to go shoot. I've got some stuff to test, some stuff to sight in. I have been testing a dot. I'm just waiting for something to come in for it. But I'm actually very impressed with this dot. I haven't seen any normal people that I follow review this particular dot. And or maybe they have and I just missed it. Excuse me if that happened. But so far, I'm actually pretty impressed with this dot. So I'm excited to bring it to y'all so you can find out, or I can give you the information I've got on it so far or my thoughts on it. It's not a longevity test that I've done yet, but I think I'm going to be keeping this particular one on this particular firearm. I'm actually liking it quite a bit. Yeah, Clyde, it's if you kind of have seen a video or seen some of my or a recent type video, you would understand probably why I might be carrying the 19X for mag compatibility. I'll just leave it at that. But that'll give you a hint. So there might be two that are rolling with me. Hello, Floridian. How are you, sir? No, I haven't gotten any gumbo yet. I have gotten, I had some shrimp and some fried catfish last night at a place called Don's Seafood. It's actually really good. It's kind of maybe an upper place. I don't know what you want to call it, but it was actually really good. And they had a really good old fashioned. She said they specialize in old fashioned. So I had a Buffalo Trace old fashioned, and they had some beer from Louisiana, and I did have one of those she recommended, and everything she recommended was awesome. Hush puppies were unbelievable. Not that I need to be eating that kind of crap. Hello, DB. How are you, sir? Scott's in the house. A fresh shrimp poor boy. They have a bunch of poor boy places here. They actually have one called Poor Boy to Go. I didn't try it. I just saw it. But, there you go. Yeah, I'm 30 miles outside of New Orleans this evening. Hello, Trigger Bar. How are you? Yeah, Trigger Bar had a live chat last night. I was with a customer with dinner at that place, so I didn't get to catch. I had to watch the replay, but go over and check it out. He was talking a bunch about suppressors, so if you're curious about those, you can go over there and check that out. How recent is your video on the mag capacity? It's mag compatibility. Something is compatible with the Glock 19 mags. Yeah, it's fairly new. Oh, DB is going to be in Cleburne, Texas next week. Cool, man. Good deal. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Man, I saw a Corvette today. That it was weird. I haven't seen this color, and I found out why the color combo was done. But it was an orange Corvette. It's not a Z06. It's an orange Corvette, really cool orange. And of course, y'all know I love orange. But it had blue interior, and the engine was done in orange and blue with yellow, and it had highlighter yellow calipers on it. And I was like, that is the weirdest color combination, because the whole interior was blue leather, and the exterior was orange. It had yellow highlighter calipers, and he had it custom ordered. And anyway, I was like, what in the hell? Why is this color combination? It just seemed weird. Well, come to find out, this guy owned an old Golf. If anybody remembers the old Golf gas stations from way back, they were orange, blue with yellow trim. Anyway, he owned an old Golf gas station, completely revitalized it, turned it into a bar, and he had the car to match it and had the car inside of it. So I thought that was pretty cool. Scott's onto something. Think Deadpool. That should be a dead giveaway for mag compatibility. No, I did not get his name. Actually, he traded it in. It was at a dealership. He traded it in. So he doesn't own it anymore. He sold the bar and all that other stuff. So he traded it in, and I think he ordered a truck. No, it's not the Keltec. Let's see here. Hello, William. How are you? I'm sweating like a farm animal. Yeah, it's here in New Orleans. Or here in Louisiana. It's been, rainy. It's been hot, and of course very humid. Y'all, anybody in this area knows how it is. So it's had that wet washcloth weather for sure. But yeah, I've been drinking water like a horse. I need to, or like a camel. But I need to get. I need to grab some more water. Matter of fact, I was late. I had a conference call, so I haven't even eaten dinner yet. I probably won't. But anyway, let's see here. I've got a part that's being built that's coming in from a manufacturer. They reached out to me. I think I talked a little bit about it, but hopefully I'll have that. I don't think it's going to be this week. It probably is going to be next week, because they had to custom make it for something that I have, but interested in testing it. So we'll see how that goes. Also, I did receive an offset mount. I'll just go ahead and tell you. I won't say the brand yet, but it is a kind of updated offset mount for a red dot that you can put on rifles with an LPVO or something like that. But I decided to go a different route with it. So I've put it on, I've larked around with it, and that's one that I have to sight in. And there is a different dot on this particular mount. So I'll be going over that, but I want to sight it in first and shoot it. And I'll do a video, you know, if y'all want to see it shot, because it's a platform that a lot of people like. And I've had a lot of questions on it. And it's been a little while since I've shot it. So that's why I want to go ahead and sight that dot in on this with the new offset mount and see how I like the mount and how I like the dot, and if this dot can hold up with this caliber. You know, I could blow the freaking dot out. So we're going to see if it's going to hold up or not. So I don't know, but it might work. It might not. It might shit the bed. Who knows? We'll see. I saw the shadow extended left safety go back in stock for like 5 minutes. Oh, somebody needs a left safety. Hello, Dave. How are you, sir? Yes, hello, Gun Nation. Hope y'all are doing well. What is a good M4 M1014 clone? Man, I really don't know. I mean, I've shot M4s and stuff like that, but I'm not a connoisseur of that. I'm just going to be honest. Y'all know I don't talk out of my ass. So I would probably be the wrong person. I know Roger from QVO has done some of that stuff. You know, there's been other people, but I personally haven't. So I don't want to tell you how hard it is, or, you know, how good it is, or any of that kind of thing, or hey, here's what you should get. Yeah, I'm in Arizona, and I feel for you guys. Yeah, well, William, I think it's not real cool in Arizona either, is it? I know y'all have dry heat. You'll be surprised how hard it is to zero the red dot for when an offset. Some dots don't have enough adjustment. Yeah, I've shown offsets before. I run them. This is just a new mount, and I like this mount. It's actually pretty cool. I actually like it better than my other offset mounts, and I'll go over it in the video when I talk about it. But I think this is a good option. It's not cheap. You're paying for what you're getting, but it's got a lot of options, and I think that's one good thing about it. So it's, you know, a lot of people might like it. It was 95 and humid as hell up here in New Hampshire today. Yeah, man, I've been hearing all these weird areas that aren't normally hot are going through a heat wave. So it, you know, probably not going to get any better. So yeah, I've been in Arizona many times, and it doesn't have any humidity. It's just that dry heat. And where I live in Texas, I mean, we have humidity, but it's not anywhere like it is in Louisiana or Houston. But we've had some humid days in Texas, but that's, you know, or where I am, it's kind of off and on, but not like here in Louisiana, man. Whew. I mean, I walked out this morning early and showered, the whole works, and hit the road, and I was just like, holy crap. Damn. Alaska was 80 degrees today? Whew. Yes, a lot of them are. You can flip them to the left or right side. So if you're left-handed or whatever you prefer, a lot of those you can flip back and forth. This particular one you can too. Let's see here. Are the options to adjust the actual degree of offset? If so, I've got 2 of them and both not being used. Yes, you can adjust it. But this is their, I don't know if it's the same brand, but this one is, it's made out of titanium. I can't wait for November, yeah. I have been in Alabama before. Yeah, it's definitely, it's a little warm there too. But yeah, it's weird weather, you know, in a bunch of different areas I'm hearing. Let it snow. Yeah. How to black rust a firearm. Black rust? Are you talking about like Cerakote? Black rust. Black rust. Black rust a firearm. You're not talking about cold blue, are you? How to black rust a firearm? I'm not sure on that one, Dave. Black rust. I'm not familiar with that terminology. I mean, I've got some that are, but they're Cerakoted. They're, God, what am I trying to say? Patinaed. I've got, they kind of have, I've tried to give them like a patina type look, but it's all done by Cerakote. Oh, bluing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've blued some older guns before. One I tried to do myself. It didn't turn out that great. I didn't follow the directions exactly like I should have. And then I had a gunsmith do one for me. These were on older guns. But yeah, and I've used the cold blue pen before. You can get it in a pen where I've done some modifications, and then I'll just cold blue or whatever blue it with a little pen. Yeah, I don't Cerakote my own. I usually spray paint. I've spray painted a ton of guns. I've got videos where I've shown that, but I've had a bunch of them Cerakoted as well. So I have guys who will do those for me. And on those videos, I actually say who they are, and I think I've got links in there if you want to check them out. Clyde is rolling out of Killeen, Texas from North Carolina in July, going to see the grandkids. Any long and short ranges you can recommend? In Killeen, you're close to the military base there. I don't know of any outdoor ranges there. They have indoor ranges. They're not that great. Trying to think. There is an outdoor range there. I can't remember the name. I mean, I've traveled to Killeen many times, but honestly, I've never done a lot of shooting there. I think I've only been to one indoor range there, and it wasn't that great. Hello, MD Polo is in the house. He also has a great channel. Y'all ought to go over and subscribe to him. He is a brother from another mother. Has some really, really nice firearms. Blackening brass. I let my brass naturally patina. And now that you can do it, you can put, what is it, vinegar? There's a solution. It's like vinegar, salt, and something where you can mix it up and wipe it on it. Then you can put it in an oven, and you can kind of patina them quickly. I usually naturally let them patina, like my brass grips, my brass pistol stand. Hell, all you got to do is wipe your hands on it, and it'll start patinaing. So. Wow. William says Louisiana, South Texas are the worst. I was in Shank. Yeah, it was 101, 82% humidity. Holy crap. Man, that's crazy. Scott's saying Mark Novak. He walked through the whole process step by step. There you go. Mark Novak. So you can check him out on how to do that correctly. They changed the name of the military base next to Killeen, Texas. What is that? Is that that's Fort Hood, isn't it? Or it used to be. Did they change the name? It used to be Fort Hood. I didn't know they changed the name. If they did, I didn't know that. Like I said, I don't hang out there a ton. I will be heading there. I had that territory way back when. Then with the other company that was not my territory, or sorry, it was my territory again, and now it is my territory again. So. Anvil Gunsmithing. Okay. So you could check out Anvil Gunsmithing. Yeah, I was going to say, heck, if there's anything you want to know, there's usually a channel out there that's done it or can do it or maybe even specializes in it. So that's always a good thing to check out. Let's see here. I saw the new ZR2 Colorado today. Special ordered one. I'm not much into the smaller trucks, but it's very nice if you're into those. Z06. You know, for what you're getting, and I'm not a Corvette like guru or any. No, that's not. I'm not a. Never been a huge Corvette fan because they're kind of small on the interior, like a lot of two-door sports cars are. But the bang for the buck that you're getting for performance, suspension, braking, I mean, hell, they're kicking Ferrari's ass. I mean, for everything that you're gaining out of that American car, it's pretty incredible. Everything that you're getting out of it for the price that you're paying. Like I said, I'm not Corvettes have never been my specialty. I've helped restore one. As a split window. But I can appreciate them for what they are. But the new ones now, of course, it's out of the box horsepower, out of the box performance. You can still do performance upgrades on them, but for what you're gaining, I mean, it's actually a pretty nice car. Ford? What the hell? I'll still call it Fort Hood, man. What the hell? Why did they change the name? Oh, after all this woke junk? I didn't know that. Good Lord, yeah, I always call it Fort Hood. Wow. No, I did not know they changed it. I'm sorry. Trust me, I always want to support the military brother or military personnel, but I had no idea that they changed the name. Like I said, I don't go to the physical base, so I used to have customers that would upfit a lot of the military vehicles for the military, but I never really went onto the bases myself. Oh yeah, pull down statues, change the name of a lot of things, but I didn't know they were hitting the military bases. That's crazy. Let's see. So if I have a gun, Rich B is saying, so if I have a gun in my safe that I haven't shot in 3 years and it's nothing special, what does that mean? Time to get rid of it. Here's the way I look at it. Now I've got some guns that I haven't shot in a long time. However, some of those guns can never be replaced. They're antiques. They mean a lot to me as far as collectability, history that I have with them. Some of them are over 100 years old, or damn near 100 years old. So they've been in my family, so I won't ever get rid of those guns. If it's one of those guns, don't get rid of it. However, if it's something that you could get rid of it and probably go out tomorrow and find the same exact damn thing, there's no reason to hang on to it, in my opinion. If you have a good amount of guns and it's just sitting there, yeah, I don't see any reason to keep it if you don't want to, and if it's not doing you any good, and if you can get something for it, whatever, if that's what you want to do, do it. If it's a highly collectible gun, that you can't replace, and you really like it for some sort of a history reason or, memory reason, I would say keep it. Fort Liberty? Wow. I guess I didn't keep up with all this. I guess I didn't keep up with all these bases being changed. I had heard something they were going to do that, but I didn't. I guess I didn't follow through with it. Thoughts on the Platypus? I've been asked many times about that gun. I actually think it's a really cool option. I'm very interested in it. I was only interested in it when they actually did the upgrades. One of the reasons I wasn't interested in it at first because it had a standard barrel, no bull barrel. I will always prefer bull barrels on 1911s, 2011s, whatever, if I can get them. And as far as the cut, they only had the RMSC cut. They weren't offering the RMR cut. However, now they're offering the RMR cut. The grip on it is nice, but it was real slick. Now they're offering a more aggressive grip, which I would prefer, a bull barrel, which I would prefer, and now an RMR cut, which I would prefer. So yes, I mean, I don't see there's any reason not to get one. The great thing about it also, it does take Glock mags. That's the most common mag. So if you had that gun and it was running good and something were to happen, you can always get Glock mags. And as I understand it, most of the parts inside, like the triggers, the safeties, and things like that, are interchangeable. There could be some specific, like barrel links and things like that, the way that it hooks up. That's probably proprietary, but I don't see any reason not to get it. The thing that I really appreciate about it is the customability where you can pick, the color, the trigger guard. That's a really cool option. I've gone on their site, played around with it to build one, color fill it, do all that other kind of stuff. And I think it's pretty damn cool. I wish more people would do that or have that as an option, because y'all all know me. I don't like plain Jane shit. I like stuff that looks different and that I can kind of make my own. I mean, it's not like you're getting a different Platypus. Well, I guess it could be with the trigger guard and the different selections, your tack rail or, non-light if somebody wanted that, commander length or full size. So there are some options, but you can kind of make it your own and build it the way you want it. So I think that's really cool. Wait till fall. If Biden, whoever the Dems put in wins, it will be get a lot more money. Let's see here. Catch back up. I think I've missed some questions. Yeah, I've known that Pistol Pete. He already reached out to me. I don't know if he's gotten it yet, but he sent me a picture of the one that he was building, or the one he had built. Yeah, he asked me my opinion on it, and I told him the same thing I just told y'all. Glenn Holt says, shot one very accurate and smooth. Cool. Yes, bull barrels are the thicker barrels for pistols. And FN makes thinner barrels. They call them precision barrels for their pistols, and they work great. So it's not that it's a must-have. The only thing, if you do like rapid shots, things like that, it's a better heat dissipator. Not that I'm saying everybody's rapid firing pistols, but if I can have a thicker barrel, I prefer it. Also, it adds a little more weight on the front. Not that they kick or that I'm recoil sensitive. It's just my preference. Like I said, there's not a wrong or a right. It's whatever people prefer. MD Polo says there's a Platypus sitting right now at his local gun shop, and I'm seriously thinking about it. I mean, I think they're cool guns. And heck, if it has the bull barrel and things like that, and the RMR cut, that's even more reason. Also, they're going to offer it in a threaded barrel. So that is another option. You can get the bull barrel with it being threaded. That's the way I would do it. So if I ever want it, I'm not a real suppressor guy on 9mm pistols. Y'all know that. But if I ever wanted to put a comp on it or whatever, and also with a little bit longer, I mean, even if it's a ½ inch longer or whatever, you're getting a little more velocity out of it, even if you don't put a comp on it. Just a little more velocity. It's probably going to be very minuscule, but on a smaller gun, because if I were going to order one personally, I wouldn't want the 5-inch. I just wouldn't. That's just me. I would want the Commander. Not that there's anything wrong with a 5-inch. It's just, hell, I'd carry it as long as it proved out. Let's see here. The ones I'm talking about are not collectibles. Could dump them and buy the exact same gun the next day if I wanted to. As far as a private sale, it's not easy to do in Virginia. Yeah, if it's ones you could buy, I mean, I would get rid of them. Just so y'all, and like I said, I don't hide anything from y'all, but I actually got rid of 2 guns recently. A family member, well, not recently, a little while back, but I've got a family member that was, really needing, some protection. And I went through and, they're good. They needed a rifle and a pistol for home protection. So I got them squared away. MD Polo said, I've been getting into revolvers. Suggestions on a revolver for carry. it's kind of hard to not appreciate a J-frame. If you're definitely looking at revolvers. I own revolvers, y'all know that. I just don't shoot them because a lot of the smaller carry revolvers that you can appendix carry, the grips are just so freaking small for me. That's what I run into a problem with. For the average person, it's not ever an issue. So that's why I kind of, they don't work for me. But, J-frames are great options. As far as brand specific, I mean, Smith & Wesson used to make really good stuff. I've heard their quality is not as good now. Korth makes really nice stuff, but it's not cheap. There's new, what was that? The Ultimate, I think it's a Smith & Wesson Ultimate carry revolver, but I haven't shot it, so I don't know. Revolvers aren't my forte. So I always say, try it if you can, see what you like. It's going to be differing between different people. I would recommend at least a 38. I always try to recommend a 357 because you can shoot 357 or 38 out of it. So that gives you kind of both, options there. Most people aren't going to appendix carry a 44 Magnum. Some do. But I'm saying your average person's not going to, or if you're going to open carry, that's different. But yeah, it's whatever you think. I don't think there's a wrong or a right answer there. Let's see here. Norwood saying, Big J, what do you think about the Glock 45 MOS? A lot of my friends said I need a Glock in my collection. I've said that for years. Everybody needs at least one Glock. Glock 45 is a good option. I mean, it's basically a 19X with, just a little bit shorter grip. I mean, because the 19X has that longer tab. I prefer the 19X/45 for like the perfect because I prefer the longer grip. And you can get larger mags. Now, of course, you can put larger mags in a 19. You just can't put shorter mags in a 45 grip, because it's 17 capacity. But yeah, I think that everybody needs a Glock in their collection, at least one or two. So yeah, can't go wrong with that. Our silencer co barrel's good. Thinking about grabbing a 945 threaded barrel? Yes, I've had many silencer co barrels. I've got one in my Deadpool gun. I have one for my Glock 19X. Not now because I'm running the Ramjet. In my opinion, if you Norwood, if you buy the Glock 45, you could get the Ramjet barrel. I know you're dealing with a brand new gun and the expense of the Ramjet, but I'm a big believer in the Ramjet. I don't work for them. They don't pay me. They didn't give me anything, but I really, really, really enjoy that Ramjet. An afterburner. I can't really state it enough how much I like it. So, it's on the one now. Pistol Pete is saying, did you sell your TSO Big Johnson? Yes, I sold it a long time ago. Not that anything was wrong with the gun. It's a great gun. But what I was dealing with is it's a huge, big old competition type gun, full dust cover, no light rail. It's single action only, which is no big deal, but I already have all these 2011s. So it really didn't have a roll anymore. And I had it tricked out with the, optic mount. So it screwed into the side and had the optic mount on it. And that was great. It was super accurate, the trigger was unbelievable. It was like 1 pound, 9 ounces. Incredible gun. Really, really enjoyed it. But it was just sitting there. When I go to shoot single action guns, I enjoyed shooting it. It was an awesome gun. But I have all these 2011s, and I'm like, do I enjoy shooting my 2011s more or my TSO more? and you really can't beat the grip and the ergonomics of the TSO. It's like a Shadow 2, which I love, but it all came down to, you know, I enjoyed shooting my 2011s more. So I sold it. I made money on it. You know, so yeah, it's been gone for quite a while. I heard somebody say that they saw my exact gun, because I allowed it to go with the special grips on it, the special orange mount on it, and it was like a one of one. I've never seen another one like mine. I'm not saying it, you know, somebody couldn't have copied it, but somebody said they saw it. I don't know if it was in a video or something, and the guy was saying, "Hey, I just bought this." So I don't know if that guy's doing videos on it or somebody had it in a video. I don't know, but somebody said, "Holy crap, I think I saw your gun in a video," and sent me a picture. I guess I don't remember the name, but I guess they took a picture while they were watching the video, because my lock grips had a liner on them. So it's orange grips and it had a red liner on it that Lock did for me, and that was it. So either that or they ordered all the exact same stuff. But that mount that was on there was a CZ Customs mount, but Fire for Effect custom milled that mount for some extra stuff that I wanted on that gun, for a larger thumb rest and more forward thumb rest, because my thumbs are long. And that was the same damn one in that picture. So I doubt somebody bought that and then copied all the milling that was done for me on mine. Yeah, we talked about that last week, Brian. Last month was the highest truck sales and SUV sales they've had since December of 2022. So they are moving a lot of vehicles. Yeah, the K6, I know Harry really likes his K6. Yeah, I've shot slugs from both of mine before. Yep. Yeah, what's crazy is I've got some shotguns that, what is it, they got +9 tubes on them, so I think I can get 14 rounds of Magnum slugs. And I've got a video way back, I don't know how many years ago it is, but I'm shooting slugs. I do one with birdshot and buckshot mixed, and then I do one with slugs. And I'm just pumping those slugs out. I'm hitting a metal plate. You can kind of see it farther away. And it's just about to knock that plate clean out of the tree. That was a long, long time ago. Yeah, 1911, 2011 trigger is really hard to beat. I mean, it's really hard to beat Pistol Pete. I don't know. I think it's coming, but I think they're either going to do like a drop on their own, not wait for a show to do it. That's what I keep thinking. But, you know, and yes, the new Bren 3 came out. So that's why I'm like, damn, CZ, why don't you go ahead and dump the new P10, get it out there. Yeah. Well, y'all, I don't know if y'all heard. Did you hear about the big recall from Toyota on the Tundras? That ain't good. That ain't good. That's going to be expensive. And I still don't know if they're going to long block them or short block them. But man, whoo, I'd hate to be a Toyota engine tech right now, because you're going to be doing all those recalls depending on what they decide to do. They're not going to go in and re-ring that engine. I mean, good Lord, that'd take forever. So it's either going to be a long block or a short block. And if they short block them, then you're going to be putting the, you know, however many miles, 20,000 mile heads back on a brand new short block. As a customer, I'm not saying, I mean, it's done, you know, you can do it. I've done it before. But as a customer, you know, that's just going to strengthen your lower end. and you're going to have 20,000 miles on your upper end. So I really hope they long block them, and just maybe long block them, give the customer a brand new complete engine, and extend the warranty on that engine for them. That would be the right thing to do, but I don't know what they're going to do. So, you know, I'm really anxious to see what they're going to do. Huey is saying, Big J, know you're sour on P320s, but what do you think of the X10 comp? A baby bear strutting across local bike path got me thinking. I mean, if that's what you're into, you know, I'm not telling people to stay away from them. You know, I have my opinion. Everybody has their opinion. You know, you can take mine with a grain of salt. I just don't have a lot of faith in the 320s. I'm just being honest. You know, I've personally had problems with them in the past. You know, I think I've even talked about this way back when I had my 320 way before even the original recall. I had a trigger issue. I talked about it with the factory trigger prior to the recall. Okay, I was at the range shooting it. You know, bang, bang, bang. It still had ammo in it. It was still loaded. Had my hand on the grip, not on the trigger. Set it down just sideways on the bench. Okay, and I had a witness right behind me. Set it down. I set it down. The second I set it down, it sent one. But that was prior to the trigger recall. After that, I was like, that's not good. So, you know, I ended up pulling the trigger out of that, putting the Apex trigger in it, which I had no issues after that. I slammed it, did all that. But that was before all this people banging on it with a hammer. And I mentioned it to SIG and gave them the serial number and everything. And they were like, oh, there's no problem with it. You know, you hit the trigger. And I was like, whatever. So that was the first, or one of, that wasn't the first, but that was one of the bad things that put a taste in my mouth. I'm just out on the 320s. Just being honest with you. It's just my opinion. Not trying to hate on anybody's gun. Don't take it that way. Scott says they're still having their magazine issues, I guess. Yeah, he was on here. He was on the chat last week. He was, Brian, or he was, you know, in the deal. No. No. Yeah, metal shavings, that's not good. You know, they've had bearing issues, valve issues, so they just got some stuff going on. And, you know, I've built plenty of engines in the past where you can get brand new bush or brand new bearings, and if they're not seated correctly or they're not heat treated correctly from the manufacturer, they can actually start chafing, is what we call it, or chafing, bruising, basically peeling apart. And I've had bearing failures on brand new engines that I put together, and it was the bearing. It wasn't me. I got with the manufacturer, and they're like, yeah, we had a problem with some of them, and they paid me to pull them back down. But, you know, so anything can happen. And they're getting those parts from vendors. Toyota's not building the bearings. They're not building the mains, not building the cranks. They're not doing all that. Vendors are building that stuff for them. So, you know, if a vendor has a failure, that can create a whole turmoil for anybody. So, Rich B is saying, I remember in one of your videos or maybe a chat, you were talking about the 40 caliber and why you stopped shooting it. Can you refresh my memory? What was all that about? I think I'm right. You are right, Rich B. So you're exactly right. Good memory. I'm actually an A&P by trade as well, airframe and power plant. So I used to do MPIs, magnetic particle inspections. All your bolt carrier groups are also MPI'd. So when you read on there and it says, hey, this has been MPI, okay, that means magnetic particle inspections against any cracks or anything like that. Well, that's also done in aviation on gears, gearing, turbine blades, a lot of things get MPI and magnetic particle inspected prior to reinstating the part or putting it back into service. So, and your turbine shafts as well. But what you do is you basically, magnetize the part, you put a chemical on it, which has pieces of metal in it. And wherever those crack, you can check it with a UV light, and you can actually see the small cracks, things like that. Well, you can have certain depths of cracks that are acceptable, and you can have some that are not. However, when I had a bunch of 40s back in the day, I think I had like I probably had 5 or 6 40 calibers, that I had shot a lot over the years and over the times. Smith and Wesson, Glock. But I'd shot them a lot. So what I did is I took my 40 caliber barrels, of course, out of the guns. I took the 9mm out of the guns, and I went and I personally MPI'd those, magnetical particle inspected them myself. Out of all of them that I had, I think it was 4 out of 5 or 6 of the 40 caliber barrels. Now, this was back in the day. They've probably changed it and made them even better now. But back in the day, I did the 40 calibers and the 9mm. And when I MPI'd them, 4 out of 5 of the 40 caliber barrels showed cracks. I'm just saying some of them were superficial, some of them were a little deeper, but 4 out of 5 of the barrels on the 40 caliber showed quite a few cracks. And I was like, okay, this is weird. Then I checked the 9mm. Not one 9mm had any cracks. Even checked one of my 45s, and it didn't have any cracks. Because the 40 caliber is a higher pressure round. A lot of people run 40 caliber plus Ps. Well, when you're doing that, it's even more of an explosion in that barrel, which can cause stress. And in the older guns, it can create more of an issue. Well, after I saw that and did the inspection, and what I can do is I can check them. I have a depth. You have a little depth meter with a needle. It's kind of like a little pick, but when you put it in there, it will actually show you how deep the cracks are. So I actually probed them, checked the crack depth, and I was like, this isn't good. So I cleaned them all up after I did the MPI on them, lubed them, cleaned them, and got rid of every one of my 40 calibers. So, and that is a actual test that I personally performed. Most people would never know that or never do that. So that's what I did, because I just wanted to check myself, and I could. Not a lot of people have MPI machines. They're not cheap. So there you go. That's the story. Harry himself says that the new J-frame, yeah. Yeah, and I have nothing against the SIG metal guns, the all metal guns, the old metal guns, 226s, 229s, never been an issue. The original X10 or the X, what was it, the X? It was the Target gun, which is kind of cool. CZ shotguns, from what I understand, they're not bad. Some of them are made in Turkey, I believe. But, oh, yeah. Okay, Scott's saying that. I just saw that comment. But, yeah, from what I understand, I've got some friends who have them. Like Channel Cat Chaser has 1 or 2, and he likes them. I haven't heard anything negative about them. I personally don't own one, but. Hello, Russell. How are you, man? Yeah, and these were some of, Scott, a couple of them were the older. They were like the Gen 1 and Gen 2 Glock 40 calibers back in the day. I think it was the Gen 2s, actually. It was a long time ago. My wife hates it when I let it rip. Brian, your guess is as good as mine. I think we're going to be able to understand, one better than the other. Let's just put it that way. Like I said, I'm not hating on any kind of guns and things like that. So I really don't want y'all to take it that way, because I know I've got a lot of family members, subscribers that really like SIG. So I'm not trying to be the SIG hater. I just myself, and I can only speak for myself, I have not had good luck with them. Um, so as of today, or as of now, I only own one SIG, and that's the SIG P322. So, and I don't really plan on buying any more personally. However, if you like them, you buy many of them and you have them, hey man, go for it. So I'm not trying to turn anybody off or say, well, Big Johnson said this, so I'm not going to buy this. If you like it, roll with it, man. I'm not telling anybody what to do. It could have been a heat treating issue. It could have been, back in, these were older ones. They're not, more modern now. And probably, some of these 40 calibers, I bought a lot of them new, but I shot a lot back then too. So I ran plus P's, I ran all that kind of stuff. And I'm just being honest with you. I think plus P plus and all that stuff is actually pretty overrated, even in 9mm. I know a lot of people really like it and they think that they have to absolutely have it. And you're not wrong if that's what you want to shoot. I'm just not a big plus P proponent. I don't think it's needed. If that's the case, get a 10mm. That's just kind of my opinion. But anytime you have an explosion and you use plus P and it's more of a pressure loaded, it's going to be more of an explosion, and it's taking that every time you fire a shot. So, and a lot of guns, they're set up for it and say, yes, they can run plus P, they can run this, they can run that, but you're just putting more, or back in the day, especially. And they probably, weren't using, like, again, the best heat coating, heat treating. It was just an older time back then. Yeah, a 960 Roland, 460 Roland. But yeah, it is what it is. So, and it was brought up earlier about the older guns. I've got a lot of older guns. I don't know. I've got some Milsurp guns. I don't really advertise them and talk about them too much. And then I've got some, I have a pretty unique 22 collection. I've got a lot of the old Carnival guns. That's what I call them, the old pump 22s. Just being honest with you, I can't see the sights that well because my vision's not that great. And I'm not going to start drilling a bunch of holes in them for red dots because they're highly collectible. I have my original 22 rifle from when I was a kid. I did squirrel hunting, turtle hunting. I've killed a lot of varmints with those guns. So, that's why I'll never, ever get rid of those. I'll pass them down to my grandkids whenever I have them. And you can't find those guns anymore. I've got an original 32 hex barrel, which was my grandmother's gun, and she used to shoot chickens on the front porch. So she would shoot them and then let them run around and then go pick them up and then defeather them and then cook them. So, I've got her old hex 32 rifle. They're super rare. Those are the rifles I'll always keep, so, I even thought about kind of putting them up, and I've shot all of them personally, so they all shoot and work. But I thought about displaying them and, putting them on racks and stuff like that. So, when you're on the chat, maybe behind me or something, you might be able to see them. Let me know if you want to see that. I think they're really cool. They've got a lot of sentimental value with me, because it's part of my childhood, my grandparents, things like that. A lot of those guns were passed down. So they're a lot of fun. Let's see here. Russell saying, digging through some of my late stepfather stuff, I found an old 13-round SIG mag from an old 228. I wish I had the gun. The mag doesn't do any good by itself. Yeah, no, they don't do any good by themselves. Yeah, the old gallery guns. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Scott. It's a fun 22. That thing is so fun to shoot. But yeah, they didn't have the best sights. But when I was a kid, I had that perfect eye. As a kid, I always had better than 2020. And man, I was a dead eye with that thing. I was super accurate with that rifle. But now I look at it, I'm like, I got those old aging eyes, and it doesn't do me much good. But it's just a very fun rifle to shoot. I mean, I still enjoy shooting it. Let's see. Rich B has said, thinking about a new truck. Always been a Chevy guy, but the Dodge Ram has me interested. I mean, they all have their pros and cons. The Ford, the Chevy, the Dodge. Y'all, like Ford people hate Chevy and Dodge. You know how it goes. Um, I mean, I've always been a big Mopar fan. I enjoy Ram trucks. I've owned Fords. I've owned Chevys. I've owned Rams. I mean, I've owned them all. Um, they're all good trucks, just depending on what you're wanting to do with them and how you're wanting to use them. Could justify, if you're going to tow with them, if you're going to do a lot of stop and go driving with them, a lot of highway miles with them, a lot of long trips with them. They all kind of have their niches and, what you want them packed with, as far as options. A lot of them kind of a la carte it. And when you do that, it's ridiculous. You're getting into a $90,000 truck for a freaking one, a half ton, which is ridiculous. Package for package, Mopar is really hard to beat with a lot of their packages. But, just depending on what you want. Like I said, not a wrong or a right answer there. Yeah. Yeah, Land Cruiser, the old ones are awesome. The old International Scouts are awesome. That's like I think I've talked about it before, but I'd like to find a really cool K5 Blazer that I could redo. I love the K5 Blazer. It was one of my favorite vehicles because I had one as a kid and I loved it. It was awesome. So I really want to get one, LS swap it, take the 350 out, the stock old 350 if it had that, but I want to LS swap it and, trick it out, put some Danas on it, lift it, big tires, not too crazy, but, kind of bulletproof it, so to say. Hello, Jay. How are you doing, man? Let's see here. Oh, one more question. What is a good degreaser or a good substitute degreaser? Are you talking about for guns or what are you talking about? Simple Green is good. For a degreaser, it's probably one of the best ones out there. I've had really good luck with Simple Green, but there's a lot of different degreasers. Simple Green seems to work really well. And you can concentrate it or you can dilute it how you want to. Yep, Ram chargers, I under Ram charger as well. Oh, for guns, I've used Simple Green. I use Simple Green on my suppressors. Like I said, I buy the concentrate, the big concentrate, and I dilute it like I want. Simple Green seems to work for me. There's also some that are less toxic, or Simple Green's not really toxic, but there's a lot of them that are more biodegradable. You can get some that can really pull pits, so you got to be careful if you get into the industrial type. I just always use Simple Green. I mean, it's good for the garage and all kinds of things, so I've never had problems with it. And yeah, kerosene, Scott's right. Like K47s, man. I used to degrease those back in the day with kerosene. Oh, man. Holy crap. Damn, Brian. Brian said his neighbor has an old Scout that's white with orange trim. Damn, that's definitely sweet. Yeah, I love the old Scouts, man. No, I don't. I don't, Clyde. I just have the Trash Panda. Oh, Simple Green will remove bling. That's why you dilute it, Scott. They do say that you need to dilute it with more water than other. There's Bald and Curious Brian. He's in the house. Hello, Bald and Curious. He also has a channel. Y'all can go over and subscribe to him. He can't speak English very well, but he can say, get to the choppa. No, I'm just joking. He's a good guy. Yeah, stick a gun in the dishwasher. I've never put a gun in the dishwasher, but hell, I bet you could. Yeah, Simple Green. I use the orange one too. I forgot about that one. What the hell's the name of that? I've got it. It's kind of like Simple Green, but it's orange. It has the orange scent. I can't, and I have that in a hand cleaner with the pumice, the orange, but they have an orange degreaser, and I can't remember the damn name of it, but it works pretty well too. Ballistol, yep, I've got the Ballistol. I just don't use, I mean, I've got like a big jug of Ballistol, but I always forget about it. Yeah, the ultrasound. Ultrasonics, they work really good. I mean, I used them, and this is kind of going back, but you know, in aviation, we used them all the time, and of course, in the automotive world, we used them all the time, and I mean, they really work good. But you know, these were the huge industrial ones, you know, the big monster ones. The little small ones, you know, I've had a lot of questionable, like you buy them on Amazon. I've had buddies who have bought them, and then the heating elements went out really quickly, so it would still work, but you know, the heating element was bad, and you don't have to use the heat, but I would prefer it. You know, and then some of them are too small and they won't fit all your parts, and then some are too big, you know, so there's all different kinds of things. Gojo, okay, that's probably what it was. Orange glow. No, that's what I was talking about, Jay. It was the pumice, the orange hand cleaner. I love that. I've got jugs of that shit. I just can't remember the name of it. And then there was an orange degreaser, and it smelled like oranges. And I could have swore it was like an orange, like a clearish orange color. I can't. Is it Gojo? Okay, I can't. I've got it. I just can't remember all the damn names of shit. You know what's crazy is I still have Loctite. Uh, I still have the aviation industrial Loctite. You don't want to use this shit on guns though, because you'll never get the part. I think it's green, but good Lord, man. I used to have to put turbine blades together with those things, with that shit. You had to actually apply a heat torch to break it down. But Fast Orange, yeah. Yeah. I think Fast Orange is the pumice hand one that I use. Yeah, and the ultrasounds I've seen, or the ultrasonic machines I've seen, you know, a lot of them are not that expensive, but I want like an industrial one that's really going to last. You know, I'm so weary of these little China options that you see, you know, all over Amazon, because I've looked for one. I even bought two. I forgot to tell you all this. I ordered two different ones, and I was going to put a test, you know, against them, and they both said they had heat. So both of these had heating elements. Then I got them. I looked at them. One did not have a heating element at all, so they lied in the description. So I sent that one back. And the other one, I started looking at it, and I was just, it showed, oh, you've got this much. And it even showed an internal dimension. Well, they didn't measure the damn thing right, because they were going by the outer dimension, saying that was the internal, and it even showed the spec, and it wasn't wide enough. So I was like, shit, I don't want this one either. So I sent both of them back. Hello, chessboard. How are you, man? Yeah, I use Jay, when I've had to remove Loctite, I actually use a soldering iron, because you can put it directly on the head if you're, you know, moving it or removing it for like sights or anything like that. I use a soldering iron so I can direct the heat straight to it, because hair dryers and heat guns, you're just putting it all over the unit. So the soldering irons works really well. I've shared that with several people. No, I don't do the Temu thing. Matter of fact, what's crazy is they actually reached out to me. They sent me an email saying, hey, we want to sponsor you. We'll send you a bunch of shit. We'll do this. We'll do that. And I was like, screw that crap. I'm not getting mixed up in that shit. Yep, JB Weld, man. Bore products, gun cleaner, lubricant, seems like very good stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, I get asked that all the time. What do you use to clean your gun? What do you use to degrade? What do you use to do this? You know, especially with oil, it really comes down to what you prefer. I mean, there's all kinds of things out there. I've been using Lucas forever. You know, the little, it's got the needle indicator, you know, you can put it on there. I think it's called like Lucas Extreme or something. I've been using it for a long time, had really good luck with it. You know, I've got some CLP, some, the not cheap, the better, I think it's called Rand CLP, and it works really well. It really comes down to what you prefer. Also, and I have a sample of it, but it's called butter. God, what is it? Gun butter, and it's supposed to be the shit. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to clean up a gun, like strip everything off of it and use it and see what I think about it. But a lot of people are swearing by the gun butter. I just haven't used it yet, so I don't know. But I think Humble use it. There's some guys I trust that use it and say it's really good. But I just find that that Lucas with the little needle thing, I bought like a big bottle of it, and I've had it forever, and I've never had a stoppage with it or anything like that, other than if I leave a gun in a safe for a freaking year or two and don't shoot it and then take it immediately to the range. That's not the perfect thing to do. You should make sure, over a period of time, it's not that it dries up the lube, like it won't dissipate, but it just loses viscosity because it's just been sitting there. So, you need to dab some oil in it before you go shoot it. Because I had a stoppage at the range because I pulled it straight out of the safe after like a year and a half, just sitting in there, and then went and shot it. And that thing was freaking dry as a bone. I even talked about it in one of the videos. Y'all can see it where I'm just like, holy crap, this thing's dry. I mean, I was wiping it and I'm like, there was nothing on it. It just all evaporated. So, yeah, I'm a big fan. And I've got even some of the bottles that I just bought the bottle, like an empty bottle with a needle applicator, and I can pour what I want in it. So I've got some of those. I even had some of those left over from aviation. And as a technician, so I bought or had some of those where you can just put what you want in it. What's up, Rabbi? How are you, man? Yeah, they bought them. What did they buy them, like a year and a half ago? Something like that. I thought they bought Lucas. But anyway, it's about 8:06. If y'all have any more questions or comments, I'll stay on for 10 more minutes or something, and we can if y'all have any extra questions or anything like that. Let's see here. Lynn says, I picked up a small sample of the gun butter. It sure stays where you put it. Slick stuff, like their needle oiler pen. Okay. Yeah, that's the little sample they sent me too. I've got a little sample of the gun butter. Or I don't know if they sent it to me. It was in one of my guns. So I need to try it. And that's the little, it's like a little sampler with a little needle thing. I need to try it and see what I think about it. Yeah, I've done that before, Rabbi. Yep, used the Mobile One. I used to use Mobile One back in the day. And then also, on all my bolts for my ARs, I still have done this. I used the red wheel bearing grease. You can buy a tub of it for, I think the tub that I have, it says like $1.66 on it. I mean, I used to pack wheel bearings with it, for trailers and stuff like that. I just hand pack my bearings and just put a wad in your hand and just pack them in and work them in. I'm a big hand packer. I don't like the little stamp packer. It doesn't get all the way through it. So, or that's just my old school in me. But, the red wheel bearing grease works awesome on AR bolts. I mean, I have shot the dog crap out of ARs and then pulled them apart afterwards. And I mean, that shit it was lubed, it was perfect, and it'll flow a little bit, but it won't turn into complete liquid and dissipate. So I always like that. Slip 2000, I think I still have some of that too. I wasn't in either. I was not in the military at all, but I definitely appreciate our military personnel. But yeah, I've been asked that a lot, but I was not in the military. Trigger bar, appreciate it, brother. Hit that like button. Yeah, y'all blow it up. Y'all can just smash that like button like it owes you money. How about that? Yeah, the viscosity does matter on a lot of oil, even for cars and guns and things like that. Especially if it's temperature controlled, like if you're in a really cold climate or a really hot climate, That's why I've heard people that live in Alaska use different types of grease and oil and things like that, with different temperatures. So, but I'm always, I always have good luck with the Lucas and stuff like that. I don't really run any of the gun grease. I have in the past with breaking in some 1911s way back in the day. I would use the gun grease, but I really don't do that anymore with those, not on slides and stuff. Palindrome says, I had a friend in the military with heads so big they had to custom make his hats. Holy crap. Yeah, I mean, there's some big-headed boys. Back in high school and stuff when I played football, I didn't have a small head. I mean, I don't have a small head. Well, let me rephrase that. When I played in high school, everybody, I guess, started catching up with my head. When I was in junior high, they didn't have any helmets in the size I needed. So they had to order, because I was a big old tall kid, and even in junior high. Yeah, grease is a mess. And you can, put a small amount in there, but it just seems to kind of freaking get everywhere. And I don't really think it's needed for our area personally. It was just a lot of people did it when custom 1911s, to break it in, they would want you to use grease. I think even Wilson Combat recommended grease way back in the day. I know Les Fair did, Ed Brown did. Don't so much anymore, but they did back in the day. Thanks, Brian. Take care, man. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Yeah, Palindrome, a lot of 22s are that way too. When you get into precision 22s, they lube all the 22 rounds as well. Yep, metal on metal pistols. Yeah, I think, this is just my opinion. I think when they were pushing the grease thing, that way they could sell you, because they were telling you to use the grease and the lube. You got to use both. That was a big push way back in the day. And I think it was just a reason to sell you another product, just so you'd buy a grease and a oil from the manufacturers. But the grease is expensive. I still have gun grease. I probably need to give it to somebody if they want it. I know I've got like 2 things of it. Glock brand. Glock was into the copper grease. That copper, it's got the little pieces of copper in it. Damn, $90 a milligram? Holy crap. But yeah, they had that copper grease stuff. I remember that. When you get the Glocks, they'd have that stuff in it. Trombone oil. Okay, never heard of that. I mean, I know guys that use like old rim oil. Hell, I even knew a guy that used mineral oil. That's what he would use. But yeah, that copper shit, when you get it in a new Glock, man, that stuff hangs around. They want you to break it in with it, though. They say it helps, kind of polish everything out, which is understandable. It's got a little bit of grit in it. That's the thing also about, just shooting, putting a little bit of lube in guns. And then a lot of people ask why I don't shoot or don't clean a lot of guns, new guns. Like, I'll clean them when I first get them and I'll oil them. But then I'll kind of push them to the boundaries to see what they can take. Because when you get a little bit of grit in them, it also helps things break in a little bit better. I'm not talking about gumming the gun up or over lubing it so shit's flying off in your face. I'm not talking about that. But, kind of letting some stuff seat and work their way in. It's kind of like when I used to do valves back in the day too. You could this for the Clover and hand lap valves. A lot of people don't have them. They have lapping machines. You can just put the valves in the machines, and the machines will do it. And I used to sit there, especially on race engines, and hand lap all those valves. And that was a pain in the ass. With the Clover grit, and you could pick different grit that you wanted to lap them. Cosmoline sucks. Yep, Cosmoline is hard to get off, man. back in the day with those AKs and all that shit, man, some of that shit would look like Vaseline. You'd get a AK and pull it out of a bag, and it would just literally look like Vaseline. I was like, damn, I need to take this thing to the car wash and freaking spray it off. Dark chocolate, polished gun parts. Never heard of that. Wow. Bangkok Streetwalker. Leave it to Rabbi. Assembly lube. Assembly lube, you know, like for engines, you know, like white lithium grease and stuff. That's what you kind of assemble things with. Not freaking Cosmoline. Holy crap. It's like they take the AK and just dip it in the barrel of the shit and then throw it in the bag. You know, but granted, man, they can stay in that shit forever and they'll never go bad. I mean, that is one positive thing about it for long storage. I had a buddy that had a hunting cabin, and he kept a bunch of his rifles at his hunting cabin locked up. And what he would do is he would, you know, when he was leaving for the season, he would hunt all the guns, and then he would pour kerosene down the barrels. And I was like, okay, and that's just what he did. I'm not saying it's wrong or right, but that's what he would always do. His grandfather taught him that, so that's what he always did. Oh, the Tavor was drenched like that. Okay. Yep, SKSs. Yep, I remember those. That's one I'm talking about. I had an SKS, and man, that shit was packed in that shit. It was all over everything. And I mean, I wiped it and scraped it and wiped it and scraped it, and it's like it kept just coming out of the freaking gun. Dip the magazine. Yeah, it makes sense. But anyway, gentlemen and ladies, if I didn't see if there were any ladies in here earlier, so. But yeah, it's about 8:16. We will go ahead and shut this down. I will do this again next Wednesday. If you have any questions or comments after the chat, please leave them. Hit the like, you know, subscribe, all that good stuff. I have been telling a lot of people have been reaching out to me saying they're not getting any alerts when I go live. They have no alerts at all. Or I've had people recently say that they have gone to check, you know, because they're not getting any alerts on a video, and they were unsubscribed from me. I'm not doing that. So I guess CommieTube is up to their crap again. So, you know, if y'all just want to check your subscriptions, check your alerts, all that stuff, I appreciate it. Not begging, you know, just if y'all would like to be subscribed, please double check it. But, you know, we will do this again next Wednesday. Again, I'm going to try to get to the range this weekend. I think I can make it happen. Get some stuff sighted in. I will push some videos out and let y'all know what I'm thinking about some things. And, you know, we will be in touch with some videos. So definitely stay tuned. More stuff is coming. And, you know, also I've been testing a new bag. So I want to give you, I've got a really good opinion on it. So I want to give you a breakdown on that. If you would like to check what I'm carrying in that bag, please tune in for that, because I think you're going to be surprised what's in that bag. So look for that coming. Probably we'll get that done this weekend. I've ran that bag probably now for about 3 weeks. And we'll let you know what's in it. But I appreciate y'all so much. If y'all need anything, please reach out. Again, like I'm saying now, love one another. If you haven't talked to somebody, you know, a friend in a long time or family member, reach out to them, make sure they're okay, check on them. I'll be seeing my dad this weekend too. But I appreciate y'all. Hello, Redbird. How are you? But I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a wonderful night. And remember, an unarmed nation's a very weak nation. So we all got to carry on. Take care, everyone. You'll have a blessed night.